Today's topic is three-quarter binding.
Hello. Okay. We have already cut two boards for the covers. Let's let's um, let's start with one board. Uh, the difference between a three-quarter binding and a full binding, that in three-quarter binding you use marbled paper just to cover the middle part of the cover, and corners, and a spine made out of cloth. First of all, uh, we will do spine. Uh, we have a relatively small cover, small board, and the size the size the size of the spine, it's really up to you. It's up to your artistic taste. uh, I would say for this size, the spine gonna be no more than inch and a quarter. But you you have to keep in mind that the visual part, the spine and the corners will be a little bit less, because marble paper will overlap, will cover tiny bit of spine and tiny bit of corners, because marble paper always goes on the top of the cloth, paper on the top. Okay. uh, inch and a quarter, two marks, and the piece of cloth will go exactly along this line. Okay. Now we have to cut piece of cloth for the spine part. The size of the piece will be big enough to cover the whole spine and part of the cover. Just roughly measure the spine of your book, and space on the cover to measure the piece of the cloth. But once again, make sure you cutting the piece bigger than you need. Okay, and the piece will go on this way, exactly as we did for the full cover. A little bit glue on the board. And good. And of course, before you glue it, make sure that you cut the edge of the cloth. It should be pretty straight. And just overlapping that line. And make sure that it's tightly, perfectly glued. Perfectly glued. Okay, fine. Now, using a scrap of board, just cut it whatever you decided to do, inch, less than inch. It's up to you. Okay, we have a piece of cloth on the board, and it will goes around the bulk, and this part we will use for the second board. That's all.